So during my sickness and recovery over the weekend, I actually happened to watch Hitman. Hitman was a movie that I did not watch a trailer for. I didn't know anything about. I knew Glenn Powell was in it. So that's really all I knew about the film going in. So as I'm watching this movie and watching the story unfold, I'm sitting here like, this is good. This is really good. The story is essentially about a teacher who is also someone who works closely with the police in New Orleans to help kind of record some of the conversations between a person who wants to hire a hitman and a person who is going to pretend to be the hitman. Now, when the hitman that's usually there gets in trouble for beating on teenagers, probably black teenagers, he gets suspended and they send Glenn Powell's character right into the fray to be this new pretend hitman. And the greatest part about this film is how well this teacher, this quirky teacher who have cats named Id and Ego, he's not the type of guy who you would ever think to put in this situation. He is an amazing hitman, pretend hitman. In the first act of this movie, where he goes through all these different types of transformations to being the type of hitman that each potential customer wants in order to be convinced that they are actually hiring the hitman that's for them. I thought that entire first sequence of this movie was absolutely brilliant. Every transformation, every costume change. I also thought that we had a lot of conversations about identity and how our identity can be changed and influenced by either our environment or even by our own state of mind. How we can choose to be different versions of ourselves. While our natural identity may not fully go away, we can have it subside to increase a different level of our personality, and how we can kind of marry the two over time. The dialogue in this movie is just putting the message of the film directly in your face without being preachy, without being overbearing. I really enjoyed how that crucial understanding of the film was communicated while still having the film be super enjoyable. Glenn Powell is phenomenal in this film. And another star in this film is Adrienne Arona, who plays this woman who is trying to get away from an abusive situation. She wants to hire a hitman who ends up being Ron, or who she believes is Ron, to take out her husband. And Ron kind of helps her out by not allowing her to go through with it. And thus they form a relationship that becomes way more than what Ron anticipated it being. And we get to see this fun banter. And I think the best thing about the character of Maddie, who Adria plays, is that there's little hints to, you ain't all the way right. You a lot more devious than you may have put on in the beginning. And throughout the rest of the film, we're watching Ron, or Gary, which is Ron's real name, and Maddie form this relationship. If you're in the audience, you're saying, this is not a good idea. This is a terrible, terrible situation that you're putting yourself in, and you need to get out. I know she's gorgeous. I know the sex is good, but you gotta get out of here because you putting yourself in danger, my man. And I think they do a great job of making the audience uneasy as they're watching these two characters do something that is absolutely stupid and ridiculous, right? This film is so much fun. The mystery of the film of trying to figure out who Maddie is, the identity crisis that Ron, or Gary, is having, and the entire rest of the cast make this film one worth watching. I wish I would have saw it in the theaters instead of on Netflix, but either way, I'm just happy to have seen it. Now, how many sparks would I give this film? I'm going to give this movie 4.5 sparks out of 5. I thought this movie was one of the best ones that I've seen this year. What did you guys think of this film? Did you enjoy it as much as I did, or did you have some other trepidations about it? Well, let me know in the comments, and I'll talk to you guys next time.